Bongino said a bad word. This reminds me, in Sunday school, we went to a puppet show called Bernie Says a Bad Word, and he had to get his mouth washed out with soap. Welcome to John Mike Keene. Don't worry, I'm not going to, I'll edit the word out. I like trying to run a family show here. This is about polls and about Kamala Harris gaslighting everyone. Here's Eric Doherty in a new national poll. Harris is at 48%. That's +1. Trump is at 47%. Now, this is a very significant poll, and I'll tell you why. This is the TIPP Daily Tracker. And this is a famously liberal poll, way screaming liberal poll. And I just want you to look at these trajectory lines. Harris's lead over Trump narrows to just 1 point. Okay. But look at those lines. Look at Trump's line. Look at the diagonal on that thing. His is strong and going, and Kamala is floating down. She can't get more popular. The trajectory shows Trump should be crossing her any day now. Here's Kamala Harris, meanwhile, lying to everyone on Twitter. And this is what Dan Bongino is going to respond to. This is the dust up they tried polling this week. Donald Trump is dodging debates, cackle, 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 and ducking interviews. His campaign team says it's because of quote unquote exhaustion. Can you imagine anyone who has a right to be exhausted more than Trump? And she puts it in quotes like he's faking, like he's really this weak man, like the president of the United States that she calls strong and sharp as a tack. Well, if he's exhausted on the campaign trail, it raises the question, is he fit for the toughest job in the world? This is an outrageous lie. This is insanity. Who's the president of the United States right now? It's Joe Biden. How is he? Is he exhausted? He's spent. Here's the actual facts of the media that they did this week. Here's Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's media appearances since becoming their party's presidential nominee. Look at, there's legacy TV. Trump did 28 interviews. Kamala did 12. Radio, Trump did 10. Kamala did 7. Print, Trump did 10. Kamala did 2 interviews. Podcast, 7-2. Video, they both put out 3 videos. And X Spaces, Trump did 1. Here's Kamala Harris gaslighting you some more from 22 hours ago. Trump abruptly ends his live interview after it is reported that he is canceling interviews because he is, quote unquote, exhausted. Quote, off the record, I got to get going, he says. Now, here's the actual interview she's talking about where he was on the Dan Bongino show and ends it.
Then Biden.
Yeah, no, she's horrible. Can I ask you a really...
Hey Dan, I got to get going.
I'm sorry.
They're going crazy.
All right. Folks, I'm sorry. We got to wrap it up with the president.
So that's a normal exit of a radio show. He looks off to his handlers and to his press people, and they say, hey, you got to wrap this up. Let's go. Has nothing to do with this thing. Now, here's Dan Bongino. I'm going to edit it slightly because he uses some bad words. You know Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino, bull. He stayed longer than planned and signed a baseball and other items for charitable hurricane relief and for 10 minutes afterwards. You can shove this absolute bull drink right up your lying piece of blank. Is Dan Bongino mad? You do not want to get Dan Bongino mad, but he's so furious and tired that this giant media campaign of Kamala Harris is so fake. And the press will all run with this. You can look at the headlines. They're all Trump exhausted, Trump exhausted. She puts the word exhausted out and they all follow like the little valueless lap dogs that they are. And we're tired of her lying. This is a sign, you guys, that Kamala is desperate. They'll do anything. And I'm thankful that Dan Bongino shows righteous indignation. I'm John Mike Keene.